Every day, life pulls at you, demands your time, your mind, your energy. But there are four levers you control, four switches that change everything. Control your thoughts, because what you think, you become. Negative thoughts are poison, positive thoughts are fuel. Control your words. They can build bridges or burn them. They can heal or they can wound. Speak with purpose. Your thoughts are the invisible architects of your life. Every belief, every mental picture, every inner dialogue quietly lays the foundation for what you experience in the world. The mind does not just record reality, it shapes it. When you think of yourself as capable, your behavior begins to align with that vision. When you see yourself as defeated, you unconsciously make choices that confirm that story. The problem is, most people are not even aware of the constant stream of thoughts passing through their minds. They live on autopilot, letting their mental chatter run wild, unaware that it's quietly programming their emotions, actions, and ultimately their destiny. A single negative thought, repeated often enough, can become a belief. A belief, acted on long enough, becomes your reality. That is why the quality of your thoughts is not a small matter. It is the seed from which your entire life grows. When your mind is filled with doubt, fear, or resentment, you begin to see the world through a distorted lens. Every opportunity looks like a risk, every challenge feels impossible, and every interaction becomes tinged with suspicion. This is not because the world has changed, but because your perception has. Conversely, when your thoughts are centered on gratitude, possibilities, and solutions, you notice chances you once overlooked. You feel more confident to take action, and you see setbacks as temporary rather than permanent. This mental shift is like turning on a light in a dark room. The space hasn't changed, but now you can see what was always there. Choosing your thoughts deliberately is not about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring reality. It is about choosing the mental framing that empowers you rather than weakens you. For example, if you fail at something, you can think, "I'm a failure," or you can think, "I'm learning." Both statements acknowledge the same event, but one drains your energy while the other fuels growth. This is the essence of mental control, directing your inner voice toward thoughts that serve you instead of harm you. It requires awareness, because without awareness, the mind defaults to old patterns, many of which were picked up unconsciously from your environment, upbringing, and experiences. One of the most powerful tools to shape your thoughts is conscious repetition. Just as a muscle grows stronger through repeated use, a thought grows stronger through repeated focus. If you regularly remind yourself, "I am capable of handling challenges," you strengthen that belief until it becomes automatic. Similarly, constantly telling yourself, "I'm not good enough," builds that belief into a mental reflex. This is why affirmations, visualization, and mindfulness practices are so effective. They interrupt negative cycles and plant seeds of new, empowering ones. Another important aspect is filtering what enters your mind in the first place. Just like you wouldn't fill your body with harmful food every day, you must be mindful of the mental diet you consume. The books you read, the media you watch, the conversations you have, all feed your mind with raw material for thought. If you fill it with inspiring ideas, empowering stories, and positive influences, your thoughts will naturally reflect that input. If you surround yourself with constant negativity, gossip, and pessimism, your thoughts will mirror that as well. Ultimately, your external circumstances are often a delayed reflection of your internal world. The life you are living today is the product of the thoughts you repeatedly entertained in the past, and the life you will live tomorrow will be shaped by the thoughts you choose today. By becoming aware of your inner dialogue, questioning disempowering beliefs, and replacing them with thoughts that support your growth, you begin to consciously design your future, instead of unconsciously repeating your past. Your thoughts are not just passing clouds in your mind, they are the blueprint from which your reality is built. Words are more than just sounds leaving your mouth. They are carriers of meaning, energy, and influence. Every sentence you speak has the power to shape someone's mood, alter their perception, and leave an imprint on their mind. The words you choose can either strengthen relationships or weaken them, inspire action or plant seeds of doubt, create trust or breed suspicion. The effect of your words is not limited to others. They also echo back into your own mind. What you say about yourself becomes part of your identity. Speak of yourself as strong, capable, and resilient, and you reinforce those qualities within. Speak of yourself as unlucky, incapable, or broken, and you reinforce that image instead. This is why choosing your words with intention is not a matter of politeness alone. It is a matter of personal power. When you speak, you are not only communicating information, you are transferring emotional states. If your tone is laced with bitterness, the person listening will feel it, even if your words are polite. If your tone carries warmth and sincerity, people will sense that too, even if you are delivering difficult truths. This is why controlling your words is also about controlling the emotion behind them. The same message can uplift or destroy, depending on how it is spoken. Words are not neutral, they either build or break. Being aware of this allows you to speak with greater care, especially in moments of tension or conflict, where careless words can leave lasting scars. Another powerful truth about words is that they set the tone for what you experience. If you constantly complain, your mind begins to look for more things to complain about. If you talk about opportunities, gratitude, and solutions, your brain starts scanning the world for reasons to support that narrative. Words shape focus, and focus shapes experience. What you talk about often becomes what you notice most. This is why conversations filled with negativity tend to drain energy, while conversations centered on possibility feel energizing. The language you use is like a magnet that attracts similar thoughts, emotions, and circumstances. Being intentional with your words also means resisting the urge to speak impulsively. Words spoken in anger often cause damage that even apologies cannot fully repair. Pausing before you respond allows you to choose language that aligns with your values and long-term goals rather than your temporary emotions. This pause is a form of power. It prevents your words from being weapons you later regret and instead makes them tools for connection and clarity. Silence, when chosen deliberately, can be more powerful than speech because it allows space for thought, reflection, and composure. It is also worth noting that the words you use with others become part of their mental world. Telling someone they are capable can plant a seed of confidence that grows for years. On the other hand, belittling or dismissing them can plant seeds of doubt that may take just as long to undo. This means every conversation you have is an opportunity to either add to someone's strength or chip away at it. Your words leave traces that last long after the moment passes, and you often have more influence on someone's path than you realize. Finally, the practice of speaking with intention is about aligning your words with the reality you want to create. If you want peace, speak calmly. If you want trust, speak honestly. If you want progress, speak with encouragement and vision. Your words are seeds. They will grow into the reality you cultivate. Once you understand this, you begin to treat language as a tool for shaping not just communication, but life itself. Emotions are powerful forces that can drive decisions, shape relationships, and influence the course of your life. They are natural responses to experiences, thoughts, and perceptions. But while they are valid and real, they do not have to dictate your every move. Many people allow their emotions to control them, reacting impulsively in the heat of the moment, only to regret their choices later. Mastering your emotions does not mean suppressing them or pretending they do not exist. It means learning to acknowledge them, understand their origin, and choose your responses with clarity rather than letting feelings take over. When you are in control of your emotions, You operate from a place of stability and strength instead of chaos and volatility. Every emotion is a signal, a piece of information that can tell you something important about your needs, boundaries, or desires. Anger might signal that your values have been crossed. Sadness might show that you have experienced loss or disappointment. Anxiety might indicate that something feels uncertain or unsafe. But these emotions are messengers, not masters. You can listen to what they have to say without handing them the steering wheel. By taking a moment to pause, breathe, and reflect before acting, you create space to respond in a way that serves your goals and aligns with your principles. When you let emotions dictate your actions, you risk creating outcomes you never intended. A heated argument can escalate because of words spoken in anger. An impulsive decision made out of fear can lead you away from opportunities that might have benefited you. A burst of excitement can push you into commitments you cannot maintain. In all these cases, the emotion itself is not the problem. It's the lack of control over how you express it. Developing emotional mastery gives you the ability to harness the energy of your feelings without being consumed by them. One of the most effective ways to gain control over your emotions is by increasing your self-awareness. Pay attention to your triggers, the people, situations, or thoughts that spark strong emotional reactions in you. Once you recognize patterns, you can prepare yourself to respond differently. Instead of falling into the same cycle of reaction, you can choose a healthier approach. For example, if you know criticism tends to make you defensive, you can practice pausing and asking clarifying questions before responding. Over time, this rewires your default reaction into something more constructive. Another essential part of mastering emotions is separating temporary feelings from long-term truths. Just because you feel discouraged today does not mean you are failing. Just because you feel angry in the moment does not mean the relationship is broken. Emotions often amplify the present moment and make it feel permanent, but feelings are like waves. They rise, peak, and eventually pass. When you understand this, you stop making irreversible choices based on temporary emotional states. You learn to ride the wave instead of being thrown by it. Managing emotions also involves healthy outlets. Bottling them up can create internal pressure that eventually explodes. Expressing them in destructive ways can damage trust and respect. Finding balanced outlets, such as journaling, talking to a trusted friend, exercising, or practicing mindfulness, allows you to release emotional energy in a way that clears your mind and strengthens your control. This balance helps you maintain composure even in high-pressure situations. Ultimately, controlling your emotions is about reclaiming your power. It means no longer being at the mercy of every mood swing, every burst of anger, or every wave of fear. It allows you to engage with life from a grounded, thoughtful place rather than being swept away by whatever you feel in the moment. This level of self-control brings confidence, resilience, and a deeper sense of peace, because you know that no matter what happens around you, you decide how you will respond. Actions are the physical proof of your intentions, the bridge between your thoughts and the results you see in your life. You can have clear goals, powerful beliefs, and strong emotions, but without action, nothing changes. Every choice you make, every step you take, shapes the path ahead. Small actions, repeated consistently, have the power to create massive transformation over time. Likewise, small inactions, repeated over time, can lead to stagnation and missed opportunities. The difference between the life you have and the life you want is often just a matter of the actions you choose to take each day. Taking control of your actions begins with awareness. Many people move through life on autopilot, reacting to whatever comes their way without realizing that they are constantly making choices. Even doing nothing is a choice, and it has consequences. When you become aware that every action is either moving you closer to your goals or further away, you start to act with greater intention. You stop wasting time on habits that drain you and and start investing energy into actions that build the future you want. The power of consistent action cannot be overstated. Big achievements rarely happen in one dramatic leap. They are usually the result of small, steady steps taken over time. Just as drops of water can wear down stone, daily actions, even if they seem insignificant in the moment, can shape your life in profound ways. The challenge is that consistency often feels boring, and many people abandon their efforts too soon because they don't see instant results. But those who keep showing up, day after day, eventually reach the tipping point where their efforts compound into noticeable change. It is also important to understand that action is the antidote to fear and doubt. Overthinking can paralyze you, keeping you stuck in endless planning and hesitation. When you take action, even imperfect action, you create momentum. You learn through experience, you gather feedback, and you adjust as you go. This movement forward builds confidence, while inaction feeds uncertainty. Often, the first step is the hardest, but once it is taken, the next becomes easier, and the path begins to unfold. Being intentional with your actions also means aligning them with your priorities. It's easy to be busy without being productive, to fill your days with activity that doesn't actually move you closer to your true goals. This is why it's crucial to regularly ask yourself whether your actions are in harmony with the life you want to create. If they aren't, you have the power to redirect them. Time and energy are finite, so choosing where to invest them determines the return you will get in the future. Another key part of controlling your actions is building discipline. Motivation may get you started, but it's discipline that keeps you going when motivation fades. There will be days when you don't feel like doing what needs to be done, but acting in alignment with your commitments rather than your mood is what separates progress from procrastination. Discipline transforms good intentions into tangible results because it ensures you take the necessary steps regardless of how you feel in the moment. Your actions also set an example for others. People watch what you do more than they listen to what you say. By consistently acting in ways that reflect your values, you inspire those around you to do the same. This influence can ripple outward, creating change beyond your own life. Every deliberate step you take toward growth not only moves you forward, but also demonstrates to others that change is possible through consistent effort and intentional choices. Small daily controls may seem insignificant in the moment, but they are the quiet force that shapes the direction of your entire life. Every day you make countless small decisions: what to eat, how to spend your time, how to react to situations, whether to keep going or give up. These choices might feel too small to matter, but together they create patterns, and patterns become habits. Over time, these habits decide your health, your relationships, your success, and even your sense of self. The truth is, big transformations are rarely the result of one massive action. They are the product of consistent, intentional control over the small things that happen every day. When you pay attention to these daily controls, you start to see how much power you truly have. Choosing to wake up early to work on your goals gives you a head start on the day. Choosing to spend 15 minutes reading something valuable instead of scrolling aimlessly feeds your mind with ideas that can change your thinking. Choosing to respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively protects your relationships and your peace of mind. None of these actions are huge on their own, but repeated day after day, they set you on a completely different path from someone who makes the opposite choices. The challenge is that small decisions are easy to dismiss. Skipping one workout doesn't seem like a big deal. Eating one unhealthy meal feels harmless. Putting off one important task appears harmless in the short term, but the danger lies in repetition. Small slips repeated over time lead to big setbacks. In the same way, small positive actions, even when they feel pointless at first, eventually produce remarkable results. The person you become is the sum of these repeated small controls, not the sum of occasional bursts of effort. Controlling the small things also builds self-discipline. Every time you make a deliberate choice, you strengthen your ability to make the next deliberate choice. You prove to yourself that you are capable of following through, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. This quiet confidence spreads into other areas of your life. When you keep promises to yourself on a small scale, you become more likely to keep them on a larger scale. It's like training a muscle. The more you practice control in everyday situations, the stronger your overall self-mastery becomes. Another important aspect is that small daily controls allow you to make adjustments before problems grow too large. If you notice you're spending too much time on distractions, you can course correct before it turns into months of wasted time. If you sense your health slipping, you can make changes in your routine before it turns into a crisis. This is the advantage of paying attention to the small things. They are easier to manage, easier to correct, and easier to build upon than trying to fix massive problems after they've spiraled out of control. It's also worth noting that small controls give you a sense of stability in an unpredictable world. You can't always control the big events in life, economic shifts, unexpected challenges, other people's behavior, but you can always control your response, your habits, and your choices in the moment. This stability builds resilience because no matter what happens around you, you still hold power over the way you live each day. In a world where so much is uncertain, the small things you can control become your anchor, keeping you grounded and focused on what truly matters. Self-mastery is the foundation upon which all meaningful transformation is built. It is the ability to understand yourself, direct yourself, and remain in control regardless of external circumstances. Without self-mastery, even the best strategies and resources are wasted because discipline and consistency collapse under pressure. It is not about controlling the outside world, which is often unpredictable, but about gaining control over your own inner world, your thoughts, emotions, impulses, and actions. When you develop this control, you become unshakable because your stability no longer depends on conditions you cannot influence. Self-mastery begins with self-awareness. You cannot control what you do not understand. This means paying close attention to your patterns, how you react under stress, what triggers your frustration, where your motivation peaks, and where it fades. Many people live disconnected from themselves, reacting automatically without questioning why they do what they do. Self-awareness interrupts this autopilot mode, giving you the power to choose your responses rather than simply following old habits. The more clearly you see yourself, the more accurately you can guide your own behavior toward your goals. Another crucial part of self-mastery is self-discipline. This is the skill that allows you to act in alignment with your long-term vision rather than your short-term feelings. Discipline is what gets you to the gym when you don't feel like it, what keeps you working on your goals when distractions tempt you, what pushes you to keep commitments even when no one is watching. Many people rely on motivation to move forward, but motivation is fleeting. Discipline is steady. It is the ability to take action regardless of mood, and it is built through repeated practice in small daily moments of choice. Self-mastery also requires emotional regulation. Life will test you with challenges, setbacks, and unexpected difficulties. Without emotional control, these moments can throw you off course, leading you to make rash decisions or abandon your progress. Emotional regulation is not about denying your feelings, but about managing them in a way that allows you to act from clarity instead of chaos. When you can remain calm in pressure, patient in frustration, and steady in uncertainty, you make better choices and maintain momentum even in hard times. It is equally important to master your focus. In a world filled with endless distractions, the ability to direct and sustain your attention on what truly matters is a rare and valuable skill. Self-mastery means being able to say no to things that don't align with your priorities, resisting the pull of instant gratification in favor of long-term rewards. Focus is what keeps you moving toward your vision without getting lost in noise and business. A deeper layer of self-mastery involves taking full responsibility for your life. This means not blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck for where you are. While you cannot control everything that happens, you can control how you respond, and that response shapes your outcomes. Taking responsibility shifts your mindset from victimhood to ownership, which is essential for growth. When you accept that your actions and decisions create your reality, you empower yourself to change it. Ultimately, self-mastery is about becoming the kind of person who can be trusted with their own future. It means building the mental, emotional, and behavioral strength to follow through on your goals, adapt to challenges, and stay true to your principles. It is a lifelong practice that requires patience, commitment, and awareness, but the rewards are profound because when you master yourself, you gain the ability to shape your life with intention instead of drifting wherever circumstances push you. When you take control of your thoughts, you choose the reality you want to live in. When you shape your words, you direct the energy you put into the world and the influence you have on others. When you master your emotions, you protect your peace and make decisions from strength instead of impulse. When you guide your actions, you turn ideas into tangible progress. When you focus on small daily controls, you build the habits that carry you toward your vision. And when you develop self-mastery, you become unshakable no matter what life brings. Transformation is not an accident, it is the result of conscious, deliberate control over what is already within your power.